Hello, this is Tony Hiller from RealClimateScience.com. Carbon dioxide emissions around the world are skyrocketing, and particularly in Asia. Australia produces about 1% of global CO2, and their emissions have been flat for a long time. China is planning on building 674 new coal-fired power plants, and Australia is thinking about building 3. But the Australian Climate Council says Australia needs to take climate action. And they say that if Australia doesn't take climate action, Alice Springs will see 42 more days per year over 35 degrees Celsius. Australia could drop off the map and it would have no measurable impact on the growth of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but according to the Australian Climate Council, it's up to Australia to decide the number of hot days in the future. So let's take a look at the history of 35 degrees Celsius days at Alice Springs. The data on the left side of the graph is from the Alice Springs Post Office, and the data on the right side of the graph is from the Alice Springs Airport. The hottest days in Alice Springs were a little bit hotter during the 1880s than they have been in recent years. And the number of 35 degrees Celsius days during the 1880s was about the same as it is now. At 420 parts per million carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, Alice Springs has about the same number of hot days as they did during the 1880s when CO2 was below 300 parts per million. This 1952 paper from CSIRO showed that temperatures declined sharply across much of Australia from the 1880s into the 1940s. And they explained that the decline in temperature was due to increased precipitation. Let's take a look at the Australian Climate Council claims once again. They say that Australia needs to take climate action to prevent 42 more days per year over 35 degrees Celsius at Alice Springs. But Alice Springs has about the same number of 35 degrees Celsius days now as it did during the 1880s. So there's no reason to believe that the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has any impact on the number of hot days at Alice Springs. And even if you believe that the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere controls the number of hot days, Australia doesn't have any control on the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. If the Australian Climate Council was serious about what they were saying, they would be talking to people in China instead of people in Australia. Nothing that the Australian Climate Council is saying is true or makes any sense. This is a dead giveaway that these people are either lacking in intelligence, have another agenda, or both. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on the climate scam for 16 years. You can visit him and his family on the web at realclimatescience.com.